Hello everyone, I'm VOA's Rebecca Ward for Going Green. This little pellet represents the equivalent energy of 1 ton of coal, but it's also at the center of an energy debate. Greenhouse gas emissions are the cause of global warming, many believe, and reducing them will be the #1 priority at the UN Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen in December. Solutions, though, still seem a long way off. We hear a lot about solar and wind power these days, but energy analyst Charles Ebinger says they simply don't produce enough power.
Look at the volumes of energy the world needs. And I don't care how enthusiastic a supporter of solar, wind, geothermal, energy efficiency you are, you cannot provide the power the world needs simply with renewables. I'll say that and someone will shout, no, there's enough wind power alone in this country, we could. All I can say, if you seriously look at the numbers, it's not true.
So why not nuclear then? No CO2s, and there seems to be plenty of uranium around. Those boos and hisses are from a recent protest against nuclear energy in Berlin, Germany. Jim Riccio with the environmental group Greenpeace says he can think of a lot of reasons not to go nuclear.
Why go there? We have affordable ways to generate electricity that don't have the problems of radioactive waste, that don't have terrorists who want to turn them into pre-positioned weapons of mass destruction.
Despite the opposition from some groups, the French-based nuclear company Areva says there is plenty of interest in atomic power.
There's a lot of plants under consideration right now. There's more than 30 under consideration right now, and more than 20 license applications have been submitted for new nuclear plants. One of the key benefits of nuclear energy is that it's a carbon-free energy source, so that as we look for energy sources that can help us create the energy we need without adding to global warming, nuclear can be a great part of the solution.
The biggest hurdle to overcome may be fear. Many have seen the TV footage and even a movie about the accident at the U.S. nuclear facility at 3 Mile Island.
It can be a fairly minor accident, but radiation could be released. That seldom happens in reactors. In fact, it never happens in the reactors in the United States because we have containment vessels that contain the radiation inside the plant. Even at 3 Mile Island, there was no real release of radiation into the broader environment.
7 years later, though, radiation did leak from Russia's nuclear reactor at Chernobyl. The result was disastrous. 56 direct deaths were attributed to the nuclear accident, but there could have been as many as 4,000 cancer deaths as a result of radiation exposure.
At Chernobyl could never happen. It could never happen today. It could never happen in the West. It was an isolated event that occurred under a totalitarian regime in a period under which that safeguards were not respected. So that could not happen today in the Western world.
So if you address consumers' fears of nuclear power, what else stands in the way? Greenpeace's Jim Riccio is adamant about what he sees as the greatest hurdle.
No, please, don't go the money aside. The money aside is something very important, because if you're going to address climate change in a timely manner, economics is going to be an important factor. And the fact that you've already had the likes of Warren Buffett and Moody's and others reject nuclear power as a sound investment, I think that's very important.
Charles Ebinger, though, says it might be reasonable to expect the United States to eventually produce as much as 30% of its energy from nuclear power as it tries to cut CO2 emissions.
Greenpeace, that has some excellent people, but I think they do a disservice to the public policy debate, pretending that if we close down every coal, every nuclear, and every oil and gas plant in the country, that we could reasonably have the volume of power that we need from renewables, and it simply is not the case.
The last commercial nuclear unit in the United States came online in 1996. A second unit at Tennessee's Watts Bar is scheduled to be finished by 2013. And although there are actually 13 applications being actively reviewed by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, no final decision on any new reactor is expected until 2011. I'm VOA's Rebecca Ward for Going Green.